Colorado beat Texas Tech 41-27. This was impressive. I give it 3 chali on the 1 to 5 scale. This was entertaining, but it was impressive because Texas Tech scored on their first 3 drives. I trust many of you watched this game. Many more of you probably saw the ending, but maybe you don't know how it started. Texas Tech started scoring on the first 3 drives. They're up 13-0, and my position I was in yesterday was such that I got to take glimpses of this game live, and the last thing I saw was Colorado punting for the 4th time in a row, and they're down, and so at that point, I had to tune it out because I was at a game. So you can imagine my surprise when I see that final. And then I go back and look, and it turns out right after I had to stop watching the game, they go touchdown, field goal, touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. Their next 5 drives, they scored, Colorado did. 4 of them went for 55 yards plus. 3 of them went 70 yards plus. And they won. People are almost starting to take it for granted now. Colorado just wins. Colorado is the best story in college football to me. That's the fight I got in. I think Robert Griffin said Colorado's the best story in college football right now. I agree with him. I think he's right about that. And so then everyone yelled, what about BYU? What about Indiana? Those are really good stories too. I happen to have an opinion here, and my opinion is what Deion's doing at Colorado over 2 years is the best story in college football. It's one of the more unbelievable stories in college football. And remember, we're talking about what the best story in the sport is. Well, story usually involves broad interest. Indiana hasn't drawn the eyeballs of everyone coast to coast. They have me because I'm a hardcore college football fan. But, I mean, your Uncle Mike out in Santa Monica does not know about Coach Sig quite yet. I doubt he knows how to spell Kalani Sitake quite yet, although those are very good stories, and I'm enamored with them. But Deion in Colorado transcend college football. Your Aunt Martha down in Sarasota knows about Deion in Colorado, and she doesn't watch college football. She may even know about Travis Hunter. He played, where did I write that? He played 155 snaps yesterday. Travis Hunter did. Still had his usual 100-yard receiving game. Played cornerback 1, wide receiver 1. Just unfathomable what he's doing. And it's unfathomable that Deion Sanders, not a coach you've never heard of, Deion Sanders, who you never thought was going to be a coach at the major college football level, took over a program, and then a bunch of people doubted him, but everyone had an opinion of it. And they're surging. They're succeeding 2 years in. And they're a really good football team. But at the same time, his son is playing quarterback. And Shador goes 31 of 43 or 30 of 43, 291, 4 total touchdowns yesterday. So he's still shining. They didn't run the ball all that effectively. So it's still disproportionately him shouldering the load. Again, that is the superstar head coach's son, if we're telling a story here, who may go really, really high in the NFL draft. And then guess what the defense did for Colorado? They didn't pitch a shutout. Far from it. Because that's not what they're capable of doing. What they are capable of doing is 6 sacks, 10 tackles for loss, held them to 2.7 yards per carry, forced 3 turnovers on downs, forced a pick and 2 fumbles. So if they can't shut you down, if they can't stone you, they will create havoc and they will cause turning points in a football game. They were bad on 3rd down yesterday. They were penalized. They were bad running the ball. That's the point. That's the point. They're finding different ways to win. It's not a one-trick pony team. That's what makes it a very solid football team and makes it a really good story. I think it's the best story in college football right now. And if you don't think it's the best, you got to think it's one of the best. Colorado is the favorite to win the Big 12. It's real now. It's serious. If you've been a holdout, you've got to take it serious now. Fresh off the presses at FanDuel, Colorado is the favorite to win the Big 12. Friends, do you know what happens if Colorado wins the Big 12, which they are favored to do right now? They go to the playoff. Nothing's broken. I'm just quiet for a second so you can soak that in. They go to the playoff. Deion Sanders and Colorado go to the playoff if they win. They need to mute this because this is rat poison. But they go to the playoff if they win. So, That's where we are now. Not a person in America was indifferent on this. You either thought Deion was the best story in college football, or you despised it and you didn't like the way the program carried itself and you thought this and you thought that. But there was no one out there that when you asked them, what do you think about Deion in Colorado, reacted by saying, I could go either way. That is what makes it, among other things, the best story in college football.